As is tradition with the annual meetings of Jehovah's Witnesses, we got a new Caleb and Sophia video. Well, it's kind of a Caleb and Sophia video, but I'm going to call it the Caleb and Sophia Extended Universe, because as we've been seeing for a few episodes now, they're bringing in new characters, and this one features one of the new characters almost exclusively. So let's talk about it. So here in the next couple days, I am going to put together a longer video that shows the entire saga of how they've introduced this new character, but we will just stick with this new one that was revealed at the annual meeting. So let's get right into it. Now you may as well name this video "A Man in His 30s Overreacts to a Kid's Cartoon," and hey, fair enough, but hey, you clicked on the video as well, so we're both in this together, bucko, so stop making fun of me. But anyway, no, your ears did not deceive you. There was no dialogue or anything, and the first time I watched this, I actually got a stopwatch and was wondering how much of this was dialogue and how much of it was just music playing in the background. So it's 12 minutes long, and 7 minutes of that, no one talks whatsoever, which sort of continues my suspicion that there's this overwhelming dumbing down of the organization, even to the point where maybe kids' cartoons, they don't have back and forth dialogue anymore. It's just a bunch of music playing and scenes going by. I guess we could do the same thing with the Jesus drama, but that would mean I would have to watch the Jesus drama again. I don't really want to do that, at least not right now. So anyway, one thing that I did find kind of intriguing about this was how they are portraying a worldly family. So in case you don't know the lore, they are not Jehovah's Witnesses that they are showing right here. So this family, the daughter and her daughter and the mom, they are not witnesses, and we know this because in previous episodes, Sophia, the little Jehovah's Witness girl, has been preaching and studying with this other little girl. So it's intriguing to me because they're portraying them as a normal, happy family that's going to the park and doing their hair and baking a pie and laughing when they're having dinner. When normally, the portrayal from Watchtower about non-Jehovah's Witnesses is this miserable, angry, fighting about everything, just the worst human beings you can possibly imagine, just the most insufferable pieces of crap, and they're just annoying to even look at or listen to. And in this, they're not doing that. Now, a little bit of spoilers here. They're studying to potentially become Jehovah's Witnesses, so maybe they're trying to show, hey, there are good people out there. We just have to find them, because good people, they want to become Jehovah's Witnesses. And bad people, well, they are the ones that would never study with us. So my personal feeling on this is that from a very young age, the organization wants to train children to think that anyone that is kind or interested in becoming a Jehovah's Witness are going to be these wonderful, great people that are just going to the park and putting band-aids on stuffies. And they will inundate them with all of these other examples of worldly people, you know, yelling, and the mob, everyone's drinking and doing drugs and not taking care of their family responsibilities. But instead of it being a negative reinforcement, it's a positive reinforcement. So they're suggesting the idea, Satan, everything bad, into, well, the people that want to come in are good, good, good. So it's trying to use strategy.
Thanks. This invite is for you and your mom. I can tell you more about it at our study. Okay, thanks. Bye. See you later, Sophia.
Now, I know that this is a kid's cartoon, but hear me out. But remember, recently they announced that they are going to be going over a book designed for children. They are all going to be getting together and reading from a children's book. So you will have completely barren. So you will have grown adults getting up there, joking. I'm not being hyperbolic. This is going to happen. This is a real thing that the leaders of a children's book. It is absurd.
Grow old and die. Jesus came to earth and taught everyone about Jehovah. Gift?
Woman whose only thing we know about her is she was kind of bothers me, but when Sophia says a name and a face, and yet the women, time that they mention, oh, we have a lot of women, they're all just nameless cogs in this wheel that is helping churn.
There's a really good emphasis on training, so you never feel completely out of your depth.
I really enjoy attention to detail. They don't get overconfident. It's because they have a healthy respect for the machine.
On our construction site, they're amazed at what they see because it's us working hard in the Lord. And here on this site, we have lots of women doing just that.
The responsible brothers benefited from this via video conference.
And it's really going to help them to see Jehovah as well.
As we've been working with the Good News According to Jesus project, we've run into a few challenges, to say the least.
Right from the start, we had fires, we've had floods, we've had a pandemic.
Some of the challenges also are depicting miracles.
Jesus, just through the process of trying to put it on film.
The Bible accounts that we're trying to depict involve a lot of animals.
There's somebody in the Bible I would like you to meet. She's a lot like you. Luke chapter 7. She lived in a city called Nain. She had a husband and a son. But then, her husband died. she still had her son to keep her company.
Now, if I was the one that was writing this little script here and trying to think, how can we extend this so people feel like they're getting spiritual food at the proper time, but just making the biggest amount of filler possible? What could we do to inject some stuff into our Taco Bell ground beef so people think they're getting more meat, but it's just a bunch of filler? I don't know. I probably advise them to run back the exact same scenes that they showed before, but instead of it with her husband, show it with the son. That's how I would fill in this without any substance.
But then, her son died too. They both died? She was already a widow, and now she was all alone. The day of the funeral, Jesus came to Nain, and he saw the widow.
Stop weeping. Young man, I say to you, get up.
The video game industry has notoriously done this for years. It's called a asset flip, where you just make the exact same game, but you change some of the cosmetics around. When I did my experiment of reading every Watchtower from 2024 and then from 1995, one thing that became really obvious that I don't know how everyone else that's a Jehovah's Witness doesn't notice is in the October Watchtower of 2024, they have a long article that's about, what ministerial servants do and what elders do and how people can qualify for that privilege. And then in December, they just 1 month later, or no, it was November and December. Yeah, sorry. It was 1 month later. They had a 2-part article series, one dedicated exclusively to how you can become a ministerial servant, what ministerial servants do, and then the next one is how you can become an elder and what they do. They are just doing this asset flip. And here in their Caleb and Sophia, it's like, okay, we need to make this 12 minutes because normally when we release a new episode of this, they're about this long. So people are going to be expecting something from the annual meeting. This is the big event for Jehovah's Witnesses where they give all their releases for the year. So we got to make it exciting. Okay, let's give them a Caleb and Sophia. But it's just they're rerunning the same scene. I truly in my heart believe that Jehovah's Witnesses are going to start noticing this. It's becoming so obvious to the point where they go through this whole scene and they're like, okay, well, just give the kid a shave and then remove the little kid. And then we actually don't even have to do that much animation and run the same music back over again with the same backgrounds and the same landscapes. It's like an asset flip, but within one episode. It is hilarious just how repetitive that this organization has become.
Wow. Why do you think Jesus brought him back to life? Because he loved them. Yeah. He loves all of us. He loves you. That's why he died for us. Jehovah brought Jesus back to life. Soon, Jesus will resurrect people. And because he died for us, we can all live forever. It's the greatest gift anyone could give us. When we go to the memorial, it's a way to say thank you. I hope my mom wants to come too. Mom!
Hi, baby.
Should we get ready for the memorial?
Oh, honey. It was a long day. I'm so sorry. I don't think we can make it. Can't wait to see you tonight. Let us know if you need a ride. It's Sophia's mom.
Mom, we can do this.
Let's do it.
Yay! Mommy?
Yes, my little princess?
I'm glad you're studying the Bible.
Me too.
All right, well, time to become old Scrooge McDuck here. Wally can't take it anymore. Kids don't want to go to meetings. The only reason a kid wants to go to a meeting is because they get to see their pals at the Kingdom Hall, and if they're in school, it's a very isolating experience. And so they finally, if they have friends at the Kingdom Hall, they have other people they can interact with that are their own age. And every child needs that growing up. It is how you develop normal social behaviors. It's either that, or they go out for ice cream or something. They get a treat. And so you have trained the child like you've trained a dog. You know, oh, hey, make sure you go and step on the towel and wipe off your feet, and then you get a goldfish, because I don't want you tracking mud all over the house. And it's as simple as that. You have to drag children to go to meetings. They don't want to go and sit there and have to be still and not make any noise. It is so difficult without, obviously you can just put an iPad in front of a kid or a phone, but that's a different topic altogether. But to get a kid just to sit there and listen to someone read from books for 2 hours straight and sit still and not move and put on a little dress or a suit, it is a very difficult thing. And anyone that's been a parent knows exactly what I'm talking about. As soon as kids, if you can make it to the Kingdom Hall itself, you've only just begun, because that's when the real battle actually begins. Getting to the Kingdom Hall, that part is just the tutorial. Now that you're actually here and you've learned the mechanics, now the actual fighting begins, because it is very hard to have kids at a meeting. It just is. And so this whole thing about trying to create an iconic character that kids can look up to. Oh, wow, she loves going to the meetings. I want to be just like her, is so incredibly stupid, and it won't work. Sure, when a kid is maybe like 3 or something, for a couple of times, they're going to be like, I'm going to be just like Sophia and push my parents to go to the meeting. Yes, that will happen, and parents will hold on to that memory and think to themselves, man, those videos were really effective. But they will immediately forget about the 900 times they had to drag their kid kicking and screaming to the meeting. It'll be the most confirmation bias you've ever seen. But anyway, I'm just saying this because what Watchtower clearly wants to do is to create this character that's righteous and good and that other kids can look up to. I am highly suspicious of just how effective this is going to be.
At this time, we will have the passing of the wine. As we all go home tonight, think about what Jesus' sacrifice means to you.
Come with me.
Zoe.
Turn around.
It's you!
My baby girl.
That was the greatest act of love.
So Zoe goes through the looking glass and she is in paradise. And hey, it looks pretty cool. I mean, it's like Iguazu Falls meets Lake Como, something like that. But the vibe is pretty, so that's pretty neat. Now, I don't know why I find this just so dang funny, but I actually went back in my chair and slapped my knee when Jesus, and after his 2,000-year silence, he's here to tell this little girl, hey, why don't you look behind you? Why? Oh, the little girl, the grandma did exactly what was necessary. Hey, Zoe, I'm here too. Why the whole scene of Jesus? Look behind you. It's just so dumb. I was sitting here like after I got done laughing, trying to figure out why. Like, what was the reason? Like, an actual human being sat down and was writing this out, and they thought, yeah, I think a really good use of like a month worth of animation time should go into making this part here, where he's like, look behind you, and everything lights up over the waterfall. I mean, it looks kind of cool, but why does it exist? I don't really know. But hey, why do any of these things exist? So there's another episode of me overanalyzing a kid's cartoon. Hope you guys enjoyed it. And like I said, here in the next couple days, I will make a longer form video. I don't know if it'll be longer form, but I'll include a lot more about how Zoe has come now to, or from just being someone that Sophia met in school, now all the way into the paradise. So the cycle is complete, and we'll see where the adventure goes from here. That's all I got for you today. So with that being said, stay safe, be kind, and don't forget to show yourself the same kindness that you show to others. And you better have a good ass day.